Just a short video on chisels, guys, and the different types. These are my marble set of chisels. I say I'll keep them for best. I mean, they're the best ones I've got. I know there are different brands out there. Depends what you're going to use them for. But you can buy these in a set. They come in a box. You don't really need the box, but if you can buy a set loose. People tell me the older marbles were better still. Certainly these seem quite relatively soft, or maybe it's just me. I first started off with a set of standy ones with a polypropylene handle, and you can see over the years how they've sharpened down. All right, and that's not a lot of wear. That's probably my second chisel. They've gone down to about there. All right. So bevel edge chisel. If you look down the end of it, you see that bevel edge chisel, so you can get into the corners. Right. So that's my old one. These are bevel edged as well. All right, bevel edged as well. You can hit these with a hammer. They're good quality. So you can hit those with a hammer. That's fine. These days I tend to use a mallet with a hardened tip. That's the soft tip. That's the hard tip. All right. And then you could have a little tiny mallet. If you're doing joinery, I find that's a bit nicer to use. Yeah. So like I say, my old set of these old standy ones, if I'm just doing rough work or putting door frames in or something, and then these are my better ones, my marbles ones, and I always keep a chisel cap on them like that, just in case you drop them. Then it saves the edge a little bit. Yeah. Now the other day when I was sharpening, you'll be aware that I've got this big 2-inch Stanley Fat Max with a big metal tang on the end and the allegedly unbreakable handle. All right, that's one of my favourite chisels. This is a firmer chisel, so it's the sides of it are square. So this is a firmer chisel. So the other ones were beveled edge. These are firmers. All right, the sides are square. All right, allegedly stronger. So if you compare the size and you look down the edge, what they're saying is that the tip of the blade is less likely to break because it's got more metal. It's got more metal there. I've always had beveled edge chisels. Not really had too much trouble with them. And then you've got the more specialised chisels. So this is a gouge. So you might use that gouge for just cleaning out circles, or if you're doing joinery, scribing, or you might even use it on skirting where there's a round. All right, anywhere where you need a round, you can get a set of those. They go from 4mm up to whatever you like, inch, 2 inch, whatever you want. This is a mortise chisel. I'll be honest, I borrowed this from work. I'm planning to do some mortise and tenons for you later on, so that's got to go back. But that's a mortise chisel, so it's broader there. The older ones, to be honest, were a lot broader, and they had a level washer there and a nice beech handle, which really you should only hit with a mallet, all right? Because timber's just going to destroy it. Sometimes they have a copper ring on them, all right? You'll see on the other chisels I'm going to show you. So this one I borrowed from work. It's a mortise chisel. It's going to have to go back, but it's just so that I can show you mortise and tenons later on, if we get time. When I first started teaching, I got quite motivated by talking to the students and enjoyed it, you know. And I bought a second-hand paring chisel. So this is a paring chisel. You can see how old it is by the way the metal's got some fatigue in there. I believe it's some marbles. So you'll see that it's a lot longer. Yeah, it's a lot longer, and it's slightly bent. It's got a beech handle, and the idea is that you use your two fingers like that, and you bear down like that and pair with it. If you were pairing a shoulder, for instance, you would probably put a piece of wood against the shoulder and reference it, and then you'd be just paring down, and you notice it's a lower angle. It's a much lower angle, so it can pare off the it's a lower angle, so it can pare off the end grain. All right. So that's a paring chisel. Again, you know, later on when we're doing some work on some joints, I'll show it. Later on when we're doing some work on joints, I'll show you the paring chisel, okay? And the last one, I think that's probably a boxwood handle on that, and you can see the brass ferrule and the leather ring. That would have been standard on a paring chisel and standard on a mortise chisel, really. I wouldn't necessarily hit this with a hammer. This is a Swan Neck chisel, and I use this for when you're up in town and you've got those big, deep horizontal mortise locks. You can get right in and claw out the timber. Obviously, I haven't used it for years. It's sat in my box for the next time I go and do a little job like that. But so that's just a really, really brief guide on chisels. I would recommend looking at Axminster Power Tools, their website, because they've got lots of different chisels on there. They've got the rider ones, they've got the socket chisels, the Stanley socket chisels. They've got the Stanley socket chisels on there, which are good for joinery. 200 quid for sort of set of 5. It's going to be above and beyond what a new person is going to buy, unless you're in a really bespoke workshop and you intend to go into joinery. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. See you soon.